Yeah, to a Marcus. I can't do Boston very well. Not very good at Boston accent.
It's reserved for Vogt.
Only thing I can do is Marcus.
Dude, I'm not a co-op.
It's so good. It's good. He's from the East Coast, though, so
Every time.
I have seen The Departed.
Guys, it's Markus Howard.
Marcus.
Okay.
Markus
Is that
Howard.
the intro? Do you want us to do something with that?
All right, let's go to last year's stats. Let's take a look. Last year's stats for Markus Howard. All right, he's playing a garbage time minutes, what have you.
Probably
His
should have gone
3-point
with the playoffs.
The second quarter
Yeah, he
of
played
that
a lot
one
in the
playoff
playoffs.
game.
27.7% from three. You remember he started off missing a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like in the back half of the year he made everything.
He did.
Especially in the playoffs, he really started to make everything.
At the beginning of the year, we felt lied to.
Right.
We're like,
Right.
this guy, how is this guy, a short guy that supposedly can knock everything down?
I like you say supposedly as if
He
didn't
hit
prove
the
it.
most-
he just
He
missed-
didn't prove it in college. But you're right.
He hit the most difficult shots in college, and then at the beginning of last season, couldn't even make wide open threes in
Hey,
garbage time.
This confidence thing, man, I'm telling, like, a lot of these guys can play, but seeing themselves, feeling it.
Of course. Yeah, no, we felt lied to. And then later on, we were like, oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, in the playoffs, he really did step up and make some shots, and they were, to your point, Vogt, they were big boy shots. They weren't, this is garbage time, you're out there, nobody cares what happens. It was like, hey, Yoke's going to the bench, you guys need to stay afloat. And there were games where he came in and not just stayed afloat, but knocked down some crazy shots. So let's get to the big question for Marcus here. The big question is... a little animation, a little music that we love. Like, oh, look at! I love Kale's head just bobbing in the background there. Does he have upside? I think this has been the big question for 3 of the first five guys. But you know what? When you're a G League player, like this is what you ask.
Yeah.
Eric, I want to start with Eric on this one.
Okay.
I want to start with Eric.
Absolutely, he has upside.
Wow.
Absolutely. Like, when he starts knocking down shots, like, making baskets is important in the NBA. It's important to
You
have a
think?
guy that can knock down 3-point shots.
It's a make-or-miss
important
league.
It's a make-or-miss league. And, like, if you ever listen to any fan base talk about what it is that their team is missing, it's 100% of the time they're like, we need shooting. We need shooting. Everybody needs shooting. And like, if Markus Howard is able to fulfill his destiny of being a knockdown shooter, then there's huge upside. Like, we've got, obviously, like, he is the prototypical player, the short little guy that can run around. That can get open, but like comes with defensive deficiencies, and there are things that obviously drag down his like overall usability. But man, a guy that can just come in and light it up, like go microwave, always valuable in the NBA.
I agree. I think he's got upside because I believe eventually he'll be a knockdown shooter. I believe it. I think the proof was in him putting in college. He was too good of a shooter there to not be at least a 40% guy at the NBA level. So I think he'll get there eventually. And if he's that type of guy and he can do it on somewhat volume, he'll have a place in this league. You just do if you're a 40% guy and can hit, 4 or 5, if you do that on 4 or 5 attempts per game. Now he's small and, he's going to have to show that he can hold his own defensively, but just because of the shot, I think he's got some upside.
So, Vogt, here's the question. Like, I agree. So much of it is about confidence. He did seem to get some confidence at the end of the year. Is he a confident player now, or is this still a work in progress? Do you expect? I know we don't know.
I think it's still a work in progress. And I mean, there's going to be some, this isn't necessarily his fault, but just a lot of the way things broke this summer, going right back into a G League spot. I'm sure he still feels like he has plenty to prove or plenty to accomplish before he's feeling like himself on the court. Remember, like in college, this was a dude. So I think it's still building. Dude. It's still building. I believe in the dude. But I will say my concern with Marcus is the basement. And I don't know the floor, whatever. I don't know how
it's like below the floor. That's
I don't know how strong he's undersized, and he is, in my opinion, a one skill player. And it is true that every team could use that skill. Yeah, you can also find it in other shapes and forms and maybe higher floors. So I'm not saying he can't do it, but there is it's a steep climb, I think.
As far as one skills go, like if you only have one, shooting is the best one to have. Like maybe rebounding or defense would be second, but if you can shoot, you can play. Let's get a shocking stat, guys.
Ooh. Shock me,
shock me, baby.
Let's blow me away.
Oh God, it's me. I'm being. Oh jeez, this is so morbid. Oh my goodness, a shocking stat. What do you guys know? He had a 127.4 offensive rating. offensive rating in the playoffs. What on earth is happening here? That was the best on the Nuggets in the playoffs. The best offensive rating. As a little bit shocking, he played real minutes. When he was on the court, Nuggets were balling out. And by the way,
go ahead.
Not just a with Jokic stat rate here. In fact, I think he was better without Jokic than he was
because
with.
If you remember in the Portland series, I think the Blazers starters outplayed the Nuggets starters. It was the Nuggets bench that dominated the Blazers bench, and Markus Howard was a part of that bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still feels a little bit noisy to me.
No, of course.
It's a little shocking.
It's because it's shocking and definitely noisy because the minute total is not that high.
Here's the thing. That actually is the single best case flash in the pan. Like
that's the formula.
Yeah, I mean, if Marcus is going to show anything, big game, big moment, not just once, not just twice, but 2, 3, maybe even 4 shots in a row. Give me the ball again. That's who he's going to be if he's going to be anything. And it'll probably be in limited punches. He's never going to have the keys to an offense, in my opinion. But he showed you there that on the biggest stage, okay, fine, I missed those shots in the regular season, but I can be exactly who you thought you drafted in a pinch. There's no, I mean, that quarter tells you actually more than I think anything else about his career to date.
Yeah. Eric, you buying this? Best offensive rating.
I watched him come into the league, and again, I felt like I was being lied to. Like he was a little guy that couldn't make any shots at all, and I was like, "What is this?" I got like so excited about him in this series last year. I was like, "Well, I look like an ass again." Nothing's changed there, but then as the season went on, I just watched him get like more. Like then he started to hit, and then it got to the point where I was like, "Oh, he's going to make it." And I like it got to the point where it's like, "Oh, this guy has a repeatable motion. Like I really like the way that he his form. I really like things that he does. Like he looks like a shooter." And so the fact that it happened, it's pulled from our last time seeing him is actually encouraging to me because he got more and more confident as the season went on. So I feel like, yes, like, you know, is he going to have the best ORFT or whatever he put on
the new advanced analytics statistic?
Probably not, but like probably not, but like, will he be good? I think so. Like I think he's a shooter, man. I think he's a guy that they can plug in and they can get a few minutes out of, and they can come in and like he can shoot in somebody's eye and just like mess up the flow of the game a little bit. So it's shocking, and I think it's we can read into it.
If you guys remember the last game of the regular season, I think it was that one against Portland where they rested a lot of guys, and Markus Howard had 23 points in that game. Right. That was like one of the maybe the only just big scoring game he had. And then he goes into the playoffs and kind of holds his own considering where he came from. So I think that last game of the regular season was huge. And if you just think about what he was able to do in the playoffs for an undrafted, undersized guy coming out of college, no summer league, no G League, did not play at all during the regular season, comes into the playoffs and kind of holds his own on what was a really good Nuggets bench unit. Considering all of that, man, it was very impressive what he did in the playoffs.
Strong agree. And his shooting is the thing that you look at and just go, hey, man, what does everybody say when they come into the NBA for the first time from a different level? It's that three-point line is the hardest to adjust to. Like, you got to get used to it. So to your point, maybe he is just a guy that took a little bit of time. The speed and the distance of the three took a little time, but now he's got it and ready to step into it. Best case scenario by far for him is that he just becomes that type of shooter, what he was in college, and even adds the off-the-dribble elements to it. Because a guy at his height, let's be honest, I don't think he's going to be a great defender at any point in his career. He just doesn't have the measurables for it. So you're going to have to be super dynamic offensively, and he has the chance to be that. We'll find out. All right, let's get some bold predictions. Bold. So bold. I've got a bold one. I think I'm going first on this one. I haven't gone first yet, have I?
Go for it, man. It's all you, big boy.
Bold. Markus Howard and bold. I think this is a real one because I think he plays the whole year in the G League. Yeah. I think he leads the G League in 3-point field goals made. I don't know if that's bold or not, but I think he plays down there almost exclusively, and I think he just like paces.
So the G League, you somehow in the G League take more threes than you do in the NBA. It's like a more 3-point heavy league than the NBA's even become. How many 3-pointers do you think he attempts per game?
I'd have to look. I don't
like
so
12.
I'll say 9 or 10.
I could see him taking 10 3-pointers a game.
That's like Steph Curry is like 12, so I could see him being a 9 or 10 where it's like if you're trying.
Was he 12 in college? It was 12.
What's the point of playing him down there? It's to see if you can scale this to a level where it like makes sense that you're. And so let's have him shoot off the dribble a ton.
The only thing I'll say is just when he's not lava hot, he's going to probably be detracting from team success on the court, and just his size, the not a lot of skills. So it's almost different than a specialist because he's got to be really effing good, right, to justify it. But I also tweeted that in the playoffs, and then he was. So
sweet.
Joke's on me.
Eric,
my bold take from Markus Howard. I think I have a higher view of him.
This is a really bold take. I just read it for the first time.
I think he'll get regular minutes and we'll have a 30-point game.
That's really
dude. I
bold,
love
man.
Eric's just like, dude, everyone can get minutes.
Everyone will get minutes. It's a game of attrition. People get hurt. Things change throughout. The dynamics change.
A regular spot though.
30 points is so much, man. That's a lot of points.
He had 23 last year.
That's a lot of points too. To be honest, that's a lot of points.
Yeah,
in the last game of the year.
Last game of the regular season. I like it.
This man is a scorer, and he's gonna get an opportunity at some point. He's been around. The weirdness of the season is going to necessitate that sometimes things don't go according to script, and I just feel like he's a guy that can come in, and we've seen in the highest leverage moment, the playoffs, him come in with supreme confidence and just knock shots down. So I see an opportunity for him to like come in and, get minutes on the bench unit. Maybe, steal some from Facu, sorry, Argentina. And, not all the time, but just sometimes you just need to score.
Well, that was a really hot take, Eric. Let's go to Harrison. Ratchet it up. Get it even hotter.
I'm going to get a little cooler. But I'm with you, Eric. I'm with you because my bold take is he's going to score 25-plus points in a game. He's going to set a new career high, like one basket more than his 23-point current career high.
Do you think he's playing regular minutes then?
No, but I think it will be a scenario where, this guy's balling out in the G League. Let's throw him up with the Nuggets, see what he can do for a week. Gets in 3 games, maybe he gets hot one of those games.
3 games, or maybe 25. I love it.
Or maybe it's at the end of the season again when, we're resting people.
Yeah.
I think he could get 25 in a game with how hot he can get.
That's wild.
So
he got 23 last year.
How is
that wild?
Yeah.
My bold take last year was that I don't think he's an NBA player. I don't know if I'm further or closer away to that after a season because we saw both sides of the.
First of all, taking an undrafted player to not be an NBA player
was not a bold take. I was just going to call myself out on that. But I will say this: extremely confident he's a G League player, and I think he will break a record in the G League this season. Probably record? Scoring related. Probably no. This is an Eric
Most
answer.
points.
I just get to claim the whole. I think it's either going to be scoring or 3-point related. It could be single game 3-point makes. Right? It could be field goal. It could be 3-point percentage by the end of the season. I don't know, but I could see him smashing something.
Or here's another bold take. I think he will retweet something from the DNVR Nuggets account. Huh?
Is he even on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
That's actually a 6-pepper take.
Yeah, it's a 6-pepper take. You might as well say Jokic on Instagram live stripper like Paul Pierce or something. Not going to happen.
What the?
We don't have anything else for Markus Howard.
Well, we got pretty bold.
I'm rooting for him to be an NBA player, by the way. Tiny Kings stick together, obviously.
Tiny Kings definitely.
I like this Markus Howard is a guy that I like him.
I like him too.
There's something about a
He's
guy.
a likable guy. That was Italian. I don't even know what
Hey,
that
it's
was.
a likable guy, but
I like his game.
I like his game.
Guy.
I'm a believer in his shot. I'm a believer in his talent.
Oh, the shot. You believe in it?
Well, I didn't.
Just being a dick.
I know. I believed in it early on. I looked like a goddamn moron because he couldn't make anything. I'm a believer that what we saw at the end is the Markus Howard and actually can be taken to another level.
I like that.
Guys, if you enjoyed this, you're really going to enjoy Wind Chimes. And where does he rank? He's a very fun one to do. Where does he rank? Because you think about where does he rank among shooting and this or that. We're going to answer that on the other side. For members only, sign up now and become a DNVR member. It's just $5 a month. You won't even notice it, guys. But you will notice all the fun stuff you get when you sign up.
That's what you tell your wife.
Discounts on merch, discounts on watch parties and tailgates, all that fun stuff. Become a member. Check out our premium content. We'll see you guys on the other side.